Hi everybody, welcome to Luna Wisdom Tarot. I'm Antoinette and thanks for joining this pick a card reading. We have a fun one planned. The subject is, will you be rich, successful, and or famous? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to break down how you get there, kind of figure out how you can manifest it faster. So we're going to ask what actions you need to take to get there, and that's it. So that's kind of how we're going to dig into the cards today. So, without further ado, pile one, the mountain. So if this card appeals to you, feel free to select it. Or if you prefer the deck, this deck is Teddy Tarot. So it's a little bit more of it's all teddy bears, but in the classic Rider-Waite layout. So you can pick pile one if that appeals to you. Pile two is the cave. And this one is from the This Might Hurt tarot deck. You guys know it's one of my favorites, so I had to pull her out today. And then the third one is, so pile three would be the box. And this is actually coming from the Modern Witch tarot deck. So go ahead, meditate on the cards. Think about maybe what deck appeals to you. You can always go into Google and do like a number finder or talk to Siri and just ask Siri to pick a number 1 through 3. You can do all sorts of ways to select the cards, but if you start listening to a deck, just remember they're general readings, right? So listening to it, if it appeals to you, great. If it doesn't, then you may want to try another deck. And then if you still find something doesn't appeal to you, you can always pick another reading from my readings. Hopefully, though, I've been able to pick up on your energy, at least anticipate it, and there's something here for you. All right, with that, let's get started. See you at your pile. Hi, pile one. Excellent. So, if you chose the mountain card or the deck, Teddy Tarot, then this is your reading. So we're asking Spirit today, will you be rich, successful, or famous? So will pile one be rich, successful, or famous? Good sign right out the gate. Ace of Wands showed up. Will pile one be rich, successful, or famous? The Death card in reverse. Don't get nervous, pile one. This is a good sign as well. We have the World. Ooh, pile one. Showing off. Okay. Will pile one be rich, successful, and or famous? Well, King of Cups. Nicely done. Will pile one be rich, successful, and or famous? Two of Cups in reverse. Okay. So, let's start. Will pile one be rich, successful, or famous? We start out with the Ace of Wands. We automatically are getting a sense that there's going to be something here around some sort of internal desire, inspiration, and you really are going to have a fresh creative force driving your way. So you see the teddy here, he's holding this wand. There's a castle here, he's coming out of the clouds. So usually in the classic Rider-Waite, it's like a hand, kind of leaving the clouds. So the fact that the teddy's holding it is really the biggest difference here. Okay. What I see here right out the gate is that you definitely have something that you could be famous for. And the creative, something that's an inspired idea, something that is driven by a deep desire, and something that is, part of in your creative nature. So that's right out the gate. So then it pairs with the Death in reverse card. The Death in reverse card talks about change, and especially about changes in what I'm seeing in your personal life. So some sort of personal changes coming up, and that because you have shown the ability to resist change when you need to, but yet we'll say you're very malleable, right? So you're very able to change, but you're also able to hold firm and stay steady to your dreams when you need to. So this is important because then we head off to the World card. The World card tells me you will be famous, because when you combine that with the creativity, combine that with being able to be malleable, so you need to be able to be a little flexible, but at the same time resisting change when you need to, right? So you have a balance there. Then we come in with the World. And the World card, of course, well, is talking about success, accomplishment, travel. You're going to be a force on a large scale. So this could be something from a social media aspect. It could be something in, we'll say, classic media, like a media space, like TV, movies, newscaster, travel. From a travel end, it could be like you're traveling to host events or to run events or to be a public speaker. But there's something in the realm of we'll say your natural born talents, and that those natural born talents, you could find aspects where it has global appeal. So then we come into the King of Cups. So as we know with the King of Cups, this is about having that, it's about emotional control, but what I see here is it's about balance. So when you actually achieve this, you're in a very balanced, emotional, stable environment. That's telling me that what you're doing is actually helping with, it's like your emotions and everything have become solid and you're very clear. Remember how we talked about earlier about you can change, but you also know when not to change, when to resist it and to stand firm with your ideas. This comes full circle because you have this mastery of your emotions. Well, this is going to somehow relate to your talent. I'm going to point you back to the Mountain card. You selected that, and I think that that's important to talk about here. You selected the Mountain card fully based on the idea that from the Mountain perspective, that you're going to be immovable when you need to, but yet hold your ground and understand, when we'll say to stand firm. And I believe that's what the Mountain actually symbolizes for your reading. And I'm sure I'll start coming back, but that's how I see it relating right now. So now we see the Two of Cups in reverse. So our Two of Cups in reverse, we're really thinking about now this idea of you have learned to trust yourself and your instincts in this pursuit. So we definitely see fame is here for you. It's here for you and it's bold. Next up. Will pile 2 be rich, successful, and or famous? Next card up is the Tower. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Oh, this came out in reverse, okay. The Ace of Swords in reverse. So a bit of sword energy showing up. You could be an air sign. The Hermit. Okay. Let's see what else it's talking about. Will pile 1 be rich, successful, and or famous? The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so we'll keep talking here. So, as we get further clarification on the cards, we have the Tower card come out. So the Tower card, and the way I see it here, is that you will see some sense of sudden change. It's going to hit fast. That's going to somehow relate to your new ideas and this new creative drive that's coming. So that's how it talks to the Ace of One card. So you're going to have this new drive that's coming through. You're going to have this sense to really start grinding at this and to really go. You're going to have this inspiration. And this is actually what's going to put you on your way. Then we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Now the Ace of Swords in reverse, now we're talking about getting clarity, a very clear idea of where you want to go. And maybe there's some areas where you had an idea, but now you start rethinking the idea and get absolute certainty. I would call this a moment of clarity. It's going to come bold. So when that happens, combined with the Death card, because remember the Death card was you're kind of dancing with change. You understand the balance here. So when you combine your inner clarity, this is why you can dance with change. This is why you're the mountain, because when you need to stand firm, nothing will get you off of it. And that's how you achieve the World card. Now we come in with the Three of Swords in reverse. This is often viewed as kind of a negative card, right? You have Three Swords, it's pretty much, you know, the classic Rider-Waite. It's like it's going through someone's heart. It's like heartbreak, emotional pain. It's a classic way, especially if it's in the upright. It's in reverse. What we want to talk about here is, guess what? It's an optimism card. You have seen everything you need to know about it. Remember how we talked about how you're rethinking ideas? So, and you had this intense clarity now. You no longer feel the need to overanalyze. In fact, you are now driven. You are driven to see things in such an optimistic way because you're so clear on how it's going to come together. It doesn't matter if anybody else has this vision. It's your vision. It's what you're meant to do. So that's how the Three of Swords relates to the world. It is optimism for your point forward. This is how you're going to get here. This is further confirmation that you're on the track to be famous, whichever way that means for you. You know, it's when we think about fame, it could be you're famous in your immediate environment, and that can mean a lot of success. It could be you're popular in a certain sense of in a segment group of people. You could be part of a chapter. You could be part of some sort of group or online group, like whatever it is. But you're going to have a sense of fame and definitely some benefits from that, as you're reflected here with the King of Cups. I believe that whatever your fame is coming from, you will be a source of knowledge and maturity in that space, meaning people are going to really highly respect you. So then we have the Hermit card on top of the King of Cups. Now the Hermit card, I've pulled this card a lot, I would say in recent years. And it's because I've gone through several Hermit phases. And what the Hermit card represents here is being being free for introspection, doing soul searching when you need to. Again, we talk about this inner clarity, and we talk about where you're headed. So here, this completely represents the idea that you're headed in a direction where you can be completely confident that you're going after everything you're meant to do. So with that in mind, the Hermit card on top of the King of Cups is reflecting that maturity and that emotional stability and that sense of balance is further complemented by your comfortability to take introspection. You're very comfortable to be introspective. You're very comfortable to do some soul searching if you're not clear on something. You don't need to go to the outside world and do all of these, talk to a bunch of people and get their opinions and their advice. Doesn't mean you wouldn't do that, but you don't need that. In fact, you're very quick to go within, to think about what's the next move. Because again, no one has this clear vision of your future. You have it. And that's what this is talking about. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So when we look at that, we're looking at the idea of you're going to be, at this point, looking for some financial wins. And that is all around the wealth. So this is going to be your future goal. As you're building up and getting the fame put together, your money and everything will still be in motion, and it's going to be coming together. Now we can get clarity. So let's get clarity on the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords to clarify this card, the Ten of Pentacles. The Seven of Swords, it talks about gratitude, right? And about taking what's needed. So I think what I see here is that it's going to come in due time, but it looks like it will come separate. So the finances will come separate to the fame. Not a bad thing, just, it's going to come together almost like a complement. We also pulled the Devil card here to clarify that card. So the Devil card kind of leans into a bit of, you're going to have some material possessions along the way. You're going to have some money along the way. You're going to have some, maybe even struggle with a little materialism because you'll have some wealth. So that's a confirmation of that. All right. So now, pile 1, we need to ask a few more questions. So the first one is, so we know you're going to be rich, successful, which is great. Like that was the goal, right? So how are you going to do it? So I'm going to move these cards up so that we can clear the space for how. And then I'm going to put the clarifiers on top of here. Okay. So how is this going to happen? Sorry, we're starting to lose the sun. So I was turning on lights. Hope you didn't hear me shuffling. Okay. So how will you become rich, successful, and or famous, pile 1? Oh, well, that's a great way to start it. The Star. Very cute card. The Knight of Pentacles. So it looks like you have some finances. Like you're not financially struggling now, it doesn't look like. The Six of Cups. I love this deck, it's so cute. The Queen of Swords. And the King of Wands. Oh, I love that for you. Okay, awesome. All right, so how are you going to be rich, successful, and or famous? Pile 1. Well, we already know you're going to be famous. We did see some success as well because of the World card. And we did see some financial abundance as well. So for you, all 3 are definitely in motion. We start out with the Star card. You're definitely someone who, your inspiration is going to really guide you. You're going to have this strong sense of hope and faith, and just, you're really going to be able to be drawn in to this, to the possibility of your future and to where you're headed. So you're going to move with complete inspiration. So how are you going to do it? Right now, I think it's important for you to not just have faith, but also be really clear about what you want to accomplish. It's time for you to get that clarity that we talked about that you will have. You need to start working on it now. Start getting clear about what you want. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is next. And when we think about the Knight of Pentacles, it plays very well with the Star card. So we were talking about getting really clear about what you want and getting really in tune with your inner, we'll say your inner drive, your inner motivation. Like, what gets you excited? What do you want to do? Versus what do you feel like you have to do, or where your skills are. Don't think about this practically. Think about this as a dreamer in a way. Like, what would you love to do? Because that's what this is talking about here. The Wands energy is about your creative force. It's about going after things, working in inspiration. That's how we kicked off this reading. So when we think about the Knight of Pentacles, now we're taking those dreams and the possibilities and your inspiration as further reflected in the Star card. And the Knight of Pentacles talks about driving it forward, right? We're talking about hard work, being productive, planning ahead, maybe being conservative with your time, right? Putting more time into this goal versus more time into, we'll say, extracurricular activities. Or it could be simply conservative with your resources because you're saving so that you can go after this one thing. Whatever it is, you're just going to put together some sort of plan. And that's what the Nine of Pentacles talks about. If you look at this picture of this teddy, he's sitting up here, he's holding his pentacle, and he's looking forward. No distraction, right? Nothing around him. He's focused. He's going after what he needs to go after. So when we ask how you will be rich, successful, and or famous, it's saying, first, to lean into your inspiration, and second, then put your focus action around that inspiration, right? Start driving yourself forward. Now, what I love is that this is followed up with the Six of Cups card. And the Six of Cups card reflects that, there's something to be said about reconnecting to your dreams, almost like your childhood dreams, reconnecting to what you've always wanted. It's okay to do so. And so it's time for you to really start leaning into that. Lean into, we'll say, lean into an outcome that's part of what you've always, like, a dream that maybe you're even too afraid to dream for, even for yourself. Like, you're too afraid to admit it to yourself. That's where you need to lean into. Think about, what did you dream you really wanted to be when you were a kid? And how does that relate to you today? If there's this like classic saying in personal development space where it's like, if you were guaranteed success, what would you do? Like, if it was guaranteed. So let's just not run through that sentence. Let's stop. If success was guaranteed, and if you sit back right now and you pictured it, what would it look like? What would you be famous for? Success is guaranteed. And then from that space, now put together your plan of the Knight of Pentacles. Start making it. You're going to work hard for what you want. That's already a given because the drive is there as long as your vision is there. So now it's just about the practicality. What's step one? Okay, then what's step two? And then you just move step for step as you go through with inspired action, right? Your inspired action coming from the Star card. Because you're pulling your personal inspiration. This is your drive. If you're not sure what you want right now, that's fine too. We're always ebbing and flowing, and a lot of things that we desire change over time. It's just about getting quiet, maybe taking back the hermit energy, right? Getting quiet, doing some soul searching and figuring that out. Okay, so again with the how, we went through the fact of kind of connecting back to ourselves, to our childhood self, as well as trying to figure out like how we could reconnect to that dream, those dreams that maybe didn't seem very practical. We step right into the Queen of Swords. It's just immediate hit. When we think about the Queen of Swords energy, now we're looking at this direct. We're looking at clear, unbiased judgment. What does that mean for you? You have allowed yourself to dream. You've put together practical action. You're using your inspiration. Now, with like a sword cutting through, something very smoothly and cleaning, you're cutting through your plan now with complete precision. You're going after what you want, right? So this Queen of Swords energy is showing that now you've pieced all of these together. That's how you're the Queen of Swords. You're moving forward with unbiased judgment. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you don't want. Going all the way back to when we started this reading, what did we say? You'll resist changing things that you know need to stay the same. You had a very good understanding of when to be malleable, when not to be. That's the Queen of Swords, really telling you, how do you do it? Well, we'll start practicing it now, right? Start being unbiased with some of your decision making, because as long as you're clear on these first three, you'll be able to make these decisions without faltering and understanding what you need to do. You also be very quick to adjust if you need to adjust. Then we follow up with the King of Wands, because a queen wasn't good enough. You had to have a king too, right? And the King of Wands plays back, you've done the full journey from the Ace of Wands to the King of Wands. So how do you do this? The King of Wands is about being a creative leader. It's about inspiration. It's about being leaning into your charisma, right? You're going to be famous. Of course, you're going to be charismatic. Of course, you're going to have that it factor. You're going to have that thing. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be something big. It could be in your local town. It could be in online. It can be anywhere, wherever it is that your skills are going to shine the most. So what the King of Wands talks about is already trusting you are the King of Wands, trusting in your creative vision, trusting your inspiration, standing firm as a leader where you need to stand firm as a leader, and remember, leaning on the fact there's multiple ways to achieve this dream. Being malleable, being flexible, being willing to follow the path in front of you. The fool's journey, right? Okay. I'm going to pull another card here. So let's do some more on how. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. We're not going to do more on how. We're going to do what action, because I think how is very clear. Okay, so now we're going to ask, what action should you start taking today to manifest this faster? To manifest your rich, successful, famous life, pile one. What action should you start taking today? All right. We have the High Priestess. I love it. Great. You have the Five of Pentacles. Bring these up a bit. Okay. What action should pile one start taking today? Knight of Swords, talking about action. Beautiful. The Sun. Lovely. And the Nine of Wands. Okay. So, what action do you need to take, pile one, to get to where you want to go? To bring up this life even faster? Because we're always about speeding up the manifestation, right? So, the High Priestess. We start off with the High Priestess, and this is starting to talk about, yet again, that same subject, your intuition. Leaning in to, we'll say, your unconscious self, like leaning into your desires and understanding how and what you want to manifest in your life. So I'll say, pile one, the most important thing from this reading is really tapping into your intuition. Whatever way that's natural to you. You do seem like an incredibly creative pile. So, you know, you may be like naturally some sort of creative avenue may appeal to you. It doesn't mean that's the case. Doesn't mean it's even classically creative. As far as like public speaking, to me is one of those things that could be viewed either way, right? It could be viewed as creative. It could also be viewed as something a bit more, we'll say, business. Regardless, to teach and to share information just as creative. So wherever you're at, it's about tapping into your intuition to get really clear on what you desire and what you want to go after. Now we follow this up by the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles upright. This is talking about something of a lack mindset. So what the action you can take today, pile one, is to transform your lack mindset and lean back into your Knight of Pentacles. Once you understand and you're inspired and you have some start, right? Because you're starting to really figure out what you want to go after, then immediately put down a plan, even if it's just a couple small action items, and start working toward it. Don't sit in the energy of a lack mindset or like, I don't know how this is going to happen. Don't overthink it, because that's going to block your energy. Instead, just move forward as if, right? Act as if. Remember, if we know we're going to win, if you know you're going to be successful, what would you do? It was guaranteed. What would you do? Remind yourself of that line if you have to, because it's important that you keep the momentum on this, which is further held. We had a Knight of Pentacles, and then it plays with the Pentacles energy right here, the Five of Pentacles. Then we come back to the Knight of Swords. Very determined card here. Look at that. Okay, so the Knight of Swords. When we think about the Knight of Swords, we're really thinking about, like, this person looks like they're moving very quickly. There's tons of action. What would make you, for me, it's like, I'm seeing this as action for yourself, fast thinking, fast movement. Because remember, you have that Knight of Pentacles energy. So instead of sitting with any type of lack mindset, you are quickly getting yourself out of that. That is the action that you should be starting to take today. If you find yourself thinking negative, like, okay, this sounds really cool, but how? Like, blow that out. You don't need to know the how. You've already envisioned it. You step into your childhood self, figure out what you want, be that dreamer. And then from there, you step immediately where? From there, you don't go to lack mindset. You go right into action. You go right into fast thinking. You go right into building the plan with your Knight cards here. Then you have the Sun card. The Sun card is a very warm, positive card. Why it's important right here in the placement is because when we think about that lack mindset, if you transition just right over the Knight, right? It's all about positivity, isn't it? It's about renewal. It's about stepping into your purpose. It's about success. These are things that you're going after, and it's all about, this is what you're going to have. So this is reframing any time you have negative thoughts around this and around what you want. By the way, everyone on earth struggles with this one. A lack mindset's so common because it's really hard for us to dream outside of what we've experienced. Our brains don't like to do that. So it's not a big deal that you're dealing with this because, like I said, it's very common. It's just now just finding the tools to work yourself right out of it, to pull yourself out of it, not to get lost in it. What I see the Nine of Wands here for you is that there is amazing excitement for the future. There's so much coming that the how is really just keeping that excitement up and thinking about what we talked about. Because, again, what if it was true? What if this reading is the catalyst, and next thing you know, you're rich, successful, and or famous? Or all three. If it was the catalyst, and if this was the moment where everything changed, you can go back and be like, it was that reading. I remember I heard it, and then, I don't know, it triggered something in me, and I got to this idea, and blah, 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 blah. And then you just get there. This is all you at the end of the day. You're creating it. So that's what this is about, is how to manifest it faster. It all ends with this Nine of Wands. Can't think of a better way. Be excited for the future. Okay, now we're going to pull some inspiration. We're going to pull some clarification cards on what you need to keep in mind. I'm going to first pull the Rose Oracle. What do we need to keep in mind? This one is a rose without thorns. You have the right to your joy, peace, and sweetness of life. As you're doing introspection, if you feel like you're fighting yourself a bit, if you feel like that maybe you're asking for too much, or I should be satisfied with where I'm at, I think that's what this card is about. It's like you have the right to your joy, to your peace and sweetness of life. That, you notice how they said your joy? You have the right to dream what you want for your life. This isn't about anybody else. The next card out is the Second Bloom, a second chance. It's never too late. New possibilities, pile one. If you feel like at all, it could be too late to go after your dream, this is an outward confirmation. It is not. It is not too late. Not too late to have what you want. There is no timeline. It's always divine timing. The rose of Venus, alignment, flow, right relationship, harmony. What I see for this is that we talked a lot about you getting quiet and trusting your inspiration, your inner inspiration, your inner drive. This is confirmation to align, to flow, right? And I think aligning yourself with the right relationships and people that are supportive of you will help you get there that much faster. It'll help you to be able to get to that inspired place and to trust yourself even faster if you have a strong support system. Brothers of the Rose, sacred masculine, honor, protection, and support. This plays right into what I was saying earlier. I didn't even know why I was saying it, so that just shows it's not for me. Just lean into the support around you, especially if you're males in the audience. This is confirmation that sacred masculine, honor, protection, and support, know that that's out there for you. We all deserve it, and we should, definitely seek it to make sure that, we have company on this journey. We're not on this planet alone, right? Okay. From Moonology Jack, adjustments are required. This is going on top of the High Priestess and the Pentacles. So this is really leaning into just working through our mindsets at times, right? Sometimes it's stressful going after what we want. Sometimes it's overwhelming, and so that's just confirmation. Sometimes adjustments are going to be required. Blue Moon, believe in the impossible. Yes, pile 1. Believe in the impossible. You literally pulled the trifecta here. You could be rich, successful, and famous, right? Your riches will build over time, so it's not going to be immediate from what we're seeing here, but it doesn't mean it's going to be delayed either. Okay? Don't let your past hold you back. So don't hold back, because of what happened in the past. It's so easy to do. Instead, lean into, remember we were talking about earlier, leaning into what your future can be and getting excited for the future. Don't let pride get in the way. The way I see this here is if you need support, ask for it. Don't hold back. Don't let your pride get in the way. There's no reason to do that. People are here to support you. Okay, pile 1. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to this reading. Please like, subscribe, share if you want. This message really means a lot to me. And hopefully you join me for future card readings. Send me a comment. Let me know what you thought, if any of this resonated. And I'll talk to you later. Take care. Hello, pile 2. Thanks for joining me. If you selected the cave card, then this is your reading. Or if you selected this deck, which is This Might Hurt Tarot, this is your reading. So I'm going to start shuffling here. We're asking Spirit, will pile 2 be rich, successful, and or famous? Will pile 2 be rich, successful, and or famous? Pile 2 be rich, successful, and or famous? Six of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. Okay, and the Emperor. Barely gonna fit, but he will fit. Okay, cool. Let me just adjust these a little bit. See the Emperor there? All right. So let's go ahead and get started. You have the Cave card here. Now what we see right out the gate is the Four of Pentacles. So you do have some wealth coming your way. You're definitely in flow with the universe. So some financial abundance is on its way. So we do have the fact that yes, rich could potentially be in your future. Then we have the Fool card in reverse. This talks about the ability to take risks and not holding back. So there's definitely a potential here for you to take certain risks. We are seeing a lot in the financial space where it leads to more wealth. That could mean for you, I don't know if maybe you do stocks, you could be in cryptocurrency or investments, real estate, something like that. But what I see here is that some of your financial dealings could involve some level of risk. So I don't see this as like a 9-to-5 job necessarily. I see this as something outside of that. It could be, playing poker. I don't know. It's just something where it's a little bit more risk associated with that. There's a Six of Pentacles here as well that's also in reverse. So this is talking about actually holding back your wealth at times and not letting it be so free flowing. So I think that maybe during the time while you're trying to build this wealth is that you actually are pretty conservative about it. So you're holding it back and making sure that maybe sometimes you take risky opportunities, but if people were paying attention, you also are you're very good about self-protection. You're protecting yourself and your interests as you're, trying to climb up the financial ladder. So then we have the Nine of Wands here. This came out in the other reading as well. I think that this is actually great though for you because the way it's playing out is that we were just talking about the fact that with the Six of Pentacles that you would be making these practical choices and steps, and at times, being a little frugal in some areas so you could take risk in other areas, which, makes sense. The Nine of Wands kind of further shows like you really do your homework here. You're really working hard to make sure the decisions that you're making are going to have, that are going to pay dividends. Like you do all of the research and you make sure that even though other people may see something as risky, but for you, you really thought it through. So like I said, this came out in the other reading, the Nine of Wands, but it's a totally different message. So I don't actually see this relating at all. So the Nine of Wands here, when I look at this card, it's really about finding motivation even in the face of difficulties. So if you have some setbacks, you're able to look at all that's going on here, all the paperwork and things. I'll actually hold up this card so you can really see it. There's a lot going on here, and he has these chewed up pencils and pens in the back, like just, Post-its and staplers and tons of 3-ring paper that's been ripped out, crinkled up. He has some books here for reference. Like he's working really hard and even has a serious expression. So this is something where you will diligently pursue and make decisions based on that. And what I love for you here, right out the gate, is the outcome. You can't even make this up. It's the Emperor card. And look at him standing there firm, holding the world in his hand, looking super like just determined and in a position of achievement. And if 4 means something to you, I would like to point out that Emperor is the 4th card in the deck, and then you also have the 4 of Pentacles. So that could resonate with you. You could also be an earth sign. That would actually make sense because we have a lot of Pentacle energy here. You don't have to be, but it could be an earth side or have earth in your chart. Okay, so the Emperor card. Why is this great news? Because it shows that being structured, making the plans that you made, being really methodical and about how you're achieving, like one, holding on to your wealth, right? Not overgiving, not taking on too many risks, being very thoughtful and very strategic means that you'll end up the Emperor. You'll end up in a position of authority. You'll end up in a position where you've built so much structure in place that you'll achieve exactly what you're looking for from a possession end and from a financial end. So congratulations, confirmation, you will be rich. All right, so for pile 2, will they be rich, successful, and or famous? Okay, next card's up. We have the Star card. I did have to mute her for, yeah, I had to kind of cover her up for YouTube here. So sorry about that. Let me just fold this little sticky up. Maybe that will help so you can at least see more of the card. Okay, I'm going to put her here. So the Star card is next. We have the Six of Cups has also come up. All right. And the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. We'll call to be rich, successful, and or famous. Ace of Wands in reverse. You know, this does. Okay. And the Hermit card. Interesting. Okay. So the Star card comes out here. We're talking about with the Star card that there's going to be a sense of serenity around what you're building. So maybe right now from a financial end, I feel like you're not there yet, but what you build, that serenity that you're seeking from having financial abundance will be here. So this is further confirmation of that. Then you have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is really around a sense that your future self will be, it's like having the memories of the different financial choices you made and being satisfied with that. So it kind of is, and it's interesting, Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles. So 6 may mean something to you as well. And then the 4's just an internal note. What I see for you here, specifically with, you know, when you're looking at your future, when you're from a future self mindset and the financial decisions you've made, you're going to be really focused on what you've built. Because if you look here, they have all of these different plants around them. You're going to be building a lot of financial abundance for yourself. Yes, we know that, but it's also like the result of that financial abundance. So I don't know if you're building a business or if you're collecting or what you're doing, but whatever it is, there's going to be some sort of, you know, it's going to be deeper than just your bank account. There's going to be something more there where you're able to really just sit in that sense of, you know, just you see more than just the financials. I don't even know how to describe that, but it's going to be deeper than that. So that's something that you can look forward to. Maybe it's a collectibles, or it could be, you know, but it looks like something tangible that you'll be able to see, like as a result of your labor. It could be like, I don't know, it could be passport stamps, like just traveling a lot, you know, and being able to live this life where you're much freer and you're not like a slave to a 9-to-5. Like it could be all sorts of things. Okay, so the next up is the Ace of Swords in reverse. This is talking about you have learned to rethink and stop over analyzing and really just trust the choices you're making. Now, this is on top of the Six of Pentacles. I think this is further confirmation. The Six of Pentacles, as you recall, was about the fact that you held back when you needed to hold back. You weren't somebody who was going to be giving too much. You were very aware of when you had extra wealth to give, and also holding back and saving some for a rainy day. That was also reflected with the Four of Pentacles upright. This Ace of Swords further confirms that you're going to be in a position where if you feel like at all something's off, instead of overthinking it, you're going to sit with that and just trust and kind of wait for the next move. So you're definitely, your future self is kind of confirming your financial wealth is coming from a lot of your internal cues, and it looks like a lot of the practices you're doing today. The Ace of Wands is in the upright. That came out next, and that's going to be really around, you're going to be able to feel, you're going to be like really connected to what you're doing. So this is going to be something that you're really passionate about. And so whatever you're building your wealth around and whatever tangible results, this is confirmation is something you're very passionate about. So this is going to be something that is going to be a big driver in your life. And then the next card, the Hermit. The Hermit is coming out as confirmation that you're really taking the time to get quiet with yourself, right? You do some introspection before you make major financial decisions. This is why you're rich, because you're not easily like influenced or sold like some deal, or like they want you to invest in this company or whatever the case. However you're making your money, you're very thoughtful about the path forward. So you see how she's standing there with her lantern. She's thinking about her path forward. She's not thinking about trying to please other people. This is another reason why you're going to be rich and successful from what I'm seeing here. So congratulations, you will be rich and successful. So next question up, how, right? We want to know how you're going to do it. Let me see, is there anything else though before we do that? Because I feel like there may be. Well, pile 2, will they be rich, successful, and or famous? Let's get some more. Ace of Pentacles in the upright. Gosh, riches is just popping out here, isn't it? Page of Cups in reverse. Seven of Pentacles in the upright. In reverse, my apologies. Page of Swords, upright. We have the Hermit and and then the Strength card. Interesting. Okay, perfect. So the wrap up, will you be famous, rich, or successful? Pile 2. We know you're going to be rich and successful. This keeps playing it through. So the Ace of Pentacles talks about new financial opportunities, being abundant, and planting seeds for the future. When we think about back here, we have the Six of Cups. It's not just about your bank account. There's other things in motion. And whatever those things are, those are the seeds you're planting for the future. Now we follow that up with the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups lays into the idea of there's going to be some kind of fun surprises along the way. And, there may be times where you feel like a little unclear on where you're going, but there's going to be fun along the way. So I think that's important to point out, because when you're building wealth and when you're trying to be successful in your own right, there's also often challenges. But what I'm seeing here is that it doesn't need to be an unhappy process. You will enjoy the journey. Now the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles talks further about perseverance, right? Keeping going, like really waiting to harvest your fruit. He's very happily waiting here. If you look here, the reason why he's happily waiting and why this card is so great for you is we've talked about how you have this long-term vision. You have such a long-term vision. Look at him. He's looking up. He's happy. He's got sweat on his shirt. He's just lived his life, and now he's seeing the fruits of his labor by being consistent. That's pretty much you. That's how this whole process is going to go. You're going to see a lot of payoff for your hard work. Okay? And then we have the Page of Swords coming up next. So we already had the Page of Cups. Now we're doing the Page of Swords. And so what does that mean for you here? Well, the Page of Swords is leaning into the idea that, yes, there's going to be some new ideas along the way, but it's really about a thirst for knowledge. We talked about, and of course, it's on top of the Nine of Wands where he's buried in books. This thirst for knowledge will drive your way. So when we ask how you're going to be successful and why, think about this. We're going to go into the how in a minute, but they already started showing us it's because of this diligence that you have, this thirst for knowledge. You're constantly doing things to grow more fruit and to build up all of these tangible, I'm thinking, financial streams along the way. Income generation in multiple areas. Those are literally the fruits on this tree. Then we have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords, we know this talked about a thirst for knowledge. Then we run into the last card here, which is Strength. Strength is kind of obvious. We know you're going to need that quality as you build your wealth. But I want to remind you, this is on top of the Emperor card and the Hermit card. You have 3 major arcanas in a row on top of each other. So let's play it through again. Remember, the Emperor card was about establishing what you're building, your vision, right? Remember, his hand was on top of the world, really going after something with intensity and being regulated about it. And now success is yours. Then with the Hermit card, that laid into the fact that you're trusting your inner voice. You're letting you lean in the fact of solitude sometimes is your guide. You lean on your own instincts after you've garnered this knowledge. Now the Strength card comes in, and this one is incredibly important. The Strength card is important because it will take courage at times to make the decisions you need to make, and you'll have to show yourself compassion and patience throughout this process. Compassion because mistakes are inevitable, and patience because what is really truly worth building takes time. So that's what we're seeing for will you be rich, successful, and or famous. You are going to be rich and successful. Yay you. I see the Cave card right now. This is the card that you selected over here. And I'm looking at it and I just keep thinking, like, what I see the Cave for you in this reading is the fact that at times you may feel alone as you're doing this process because you have such a clear vision of what you want to build. And that may feel a little lonely, especially if you're not going out and doing things because you're cutting back or because you're just trying to really see the future the way you want to. You're inspired about that, but other people don't see that future with you. And at times that could be a little isolating. So if that resonates with you, know you're on the right channel for sure and on the right reading, because this is confirmation. You're on the path that you have selected and you will see success. So now you have the 3 of Cups. We asked how you will be successful. So now we know you're going to be rich and successful. How are you going to do it? The 3 of Cups is leading the way. Then comes the Chariot card. How are you going to do it? The 4 of Swords came out next. How are you going to be rich and successful? Pile 2. The Hangman. Ugh. Just can't get it together today, Jesus. Okay, and one more. So I lay down my cards, they're so sticky. The Death card in reverse. Okay, cool. So how will you be rich, successful? Pile 2. We start with the 3 of Cups. Now, when we think about the 3 of Cups, this indicates celebration and joy. I was just talking, mid-yawn. I was just talking about the Cave card. I see this coming in because I was thinking, why didn't I talk about the Cave card sooner? But for whatever reason, I didn't have a desire to. And then, of course, the 3 of Cups comes in after it. This is how are you going to get this? This actually really building collaborative relationships. You see here, these 3 women celebrating, have a good time. It's about building collaborative relationships. That will help you. That's how you're going to do it, because you're going to lean into, instead of feeling isolated, finding people who have like goals, maybe joining a community, joining some sort of group, following people online, whatever it is. But you're going to start feeling a lot more supported in this arena, and that's how. The next card up is the Chariot card. And this is 7. And the 7s were standing out to me early. We had the 7 of Pentacles. And then 17 is the Star card. So if 7 means something to you, you may want to look it up. As well as you can look up angel number 177. Or even 7117 could also be there. Okay. Could have some messages for you. So when we look at the Chariot card, we're really going to kind of lean into the fact that there's a lot coming with the Chariot card, right? What I see here for you is that you have a tremendous willpower. You already have it. You're showing it every day. And it's that willpower, that determination, that precision. That's how you're going to get it. It's a skill that you're already showing. And I'm going to show you this card again. You notice what she's doing here? She's balancing on 2 motorcycles. She has a wand in her hand. She has a star up here. Remember, you're the star. You pulled that card during this reading. This is you driving forward with complete determination. Does she look doubtful at all? This is how you're going to get it, because your willpower is unmatched. You are a force pile too. And so that means that when you're going after these things, with your determination, your sense of certainty, that's what's going to get you here. Now we follow up with the 4 of Swords. So the 4 of Swords card, one of the most important things to do is to take rest when you need to. Allow yourself to take some time to rest and relax. The reason why this is important is because you know she's on guard here. She's got a knife here. There's knives up there. It's like, how could you possibly sleep comfortably when you have a knife up there? You notice how her fingers open? It's like she's still kind of loosely awake. Look, she even has it like lightly gripped. You can't possibly be relaxed. One of the things with you and with your willpower and your drive is it may be hard for you to take time off, and you feel like you should always be working on something. It may be hard for you to just relax. Because you're after being rich and successful, I know the drive that it takes to get that. And so respect, seriously, because that's why a lot of people, they want it, but they don't get it. You have the drive and you have the determination, you're going to get this thing. But how you're going to do it, believe it or not, is allowing your body and your mind to rest and relax when you need to. Our bodies have to renew, right? Otherwise, burnout happens. Burnout's just going to delay your path. So view it that way. It's better to give your body a break before it forces you to take a break. Next card up, the Hangman. So the Hangman comes in, and I don't know. I mean, like when we look at this card, you know, he's looking at things from a different perspective for sure. His mind's kind of on fire. He's on one foot here being hung, and then he has this bird on his leg. The Hangman kind of brings up all sorts of things, doesn't it? Like when you really look at it, you absorb. And what I see here for you is that there's going to be times where you're going to have to surrender and let go. You're somebody who controls every aspect, which is great, and you do have great instincts, but there's going to be times where you're going to have to let go of something and see how it plays out, and that may be a struggle for you. So the how are you going to be successful, is really about just letting it go. Maybe it's being quiet with a decision and not making it, and because you're the Chariot card, You're used to moving fast and with momentum and with purpose and moving forward. Being comfortable at times to sit with it, to pause, I think is going to be important to you. So if people are like pressuring you for a decision and you're like always used to just delivering the answer, but you're vacillating, you can pause. You can pause, say, you know what, I'll get back to you in the morning, and you can even let it go and then literally pick it up in the morning and think about what you want to do. And you'll probably come to a solution just as fast, but the difference will be you'll be certain. And it will be the right way to approach it because you've given, sometimes you can't force a decision through, it has to come back naturally. Talk about the inspiration that often comes in the shower, right? Like, oh, I see it so clearly now, right? Because you're completely away from it. It's allowing that when you need to, instead of just forcing something through. And then we have the Death card here. The Death card talks about, it's in reverse here, but I would see this as elimination. You want to eliminate anything in your life that is not helping you go on this path. So when I say that, it means like you're really good about how to spend your money and everything and how you're spending your time, and maybe a little too much, right? Because there's going to be times where you need to actually, it's even here, is let your body relax. But it's the elimination, instead of it being something obvious like eliminating a person or eliminating a behavior, it's really just about eliminating the idea that you have to work like a machine. You can work, and you can work a lot. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if that's your drive and what you want to do. But you don't have to work yourself into being sick or driving yourself down. That's not the how of this scenario. So you want to eliminate any self-destructive patterns that may come into your work ethic. That's what you want to eliminate. So that is an area where you have an opportunity to transform and just change the way you do something. Change the way you approach it. Like I said, if you're tired one night and you're planning on working a couple extra hours, but you're exhausted and you really just want to go home, then go home. Or you really want to turn off that computer and you just want to, play on social media and go to sleep early, then do that. There's times where you just have to let it go. It's not going to delay your path. It's actually coming up as the how. So it means you have to make room and to be willing to be a little bit more malleable here. And you are malleable. That came up in the beginning of the reading, right? You understand when to stick to things and when not to stick to things. Okay, so now we're going to go through and we're going to talk about what action should you take that you can start taking today to manifest what you want. Oh, the Sun card. That came out for pile 1 as well. That's always a good action. 8 of Swords. Very good card to get. I apologize for the glare. We're at the point of the night where I don't have any natural light left, so a little bit of glare on some of the cards, but I'll hold them up. 2 of Cups in reverse. Oh, yes. Four of Wands, the Tower. Okay, the Sun card. The Sun card is showing here. We kick off with the Sun card. So what we're kicking off with is the idea that what action do you need to take? Have some fun. Have some fun. Be positive. Life can't be all work and no play. So insert more opportunities for joy in your life. And that doesn't even mean spending $1, but it can mean spending a little time for yourself. It can mean just having a cup of coffee and a little quiet time for 5 minutes, whatever it is. Whatever will add a little joy to your day, but start doing it. Then we have the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords and the upright. This is a very interesting card because if you look at it, she's bound, but it doesn't look like that tight, like it's not really binding her skin that much. You see that there? And then she's blindfolded, but you notice there's swords all around her, but she could easily just walk away. Like the swords mean nothing. So when we talk about, what does that mean for you? What action should we take today? The Eight of Swords is talking about letting go of any feeling of powerlessness. You are not powerless. Let it go. Let go of that mentality if you have it. Let it go. You're not powerless. You're not a victim. You can move forward. That's what this card's talking about. Remember, loosely bound. For all we know, it's so loose that she could wiggle out of it because there's nothing tight around her. But it's the concept, right? It's the very concept that it looks scary, but it really isn't. So remind yourself of that. It could look scary, but it's really not, and just step yourself through the process. The Two of Cups comes next. So the Two of Cups in reverse, we're talking about now self-love. Allowing yourself to heal from any distress you may have for yourself. You have already done, I can tell you've already made leaps and bounds, and you're already working toward your goal. This is not, I think this is probably a confirmation for most of you, pile 2. I think you've already been well along your rich, successful dreams. I think you've been working on them for quite some time. And if you haven't, this is a confirmation. Yeah, you're at the right pile because you can build it, and that's what we're talking about. But I feel like most of you have already been on this path. So this is confirmation to stop being so hard on yourself, you know. It's okay. You're already doing what you need to do. Just little tweaks. And the tweaks are actually more about you having fun and trusting your judgment and letting stuff go and giving yourself time to breathe and giving yourself time to think. Like, all very doable things. They're not like huge actions, which is great. It's just like retraining how you approach stuff, and it's going to make it a more enjoyable process for you. So then we come in with the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands reflects, you know, really a sense of community, right? Of prosperity. Living in your prosperity now, being grateful for what you have now, being grateful for the people around you, not just building that new community we talked about, but being grateful for the people around you now. This is going to help you manifest faster. And then we have the Tower card that comes in, being open to change. Being open to change. There's going to be opportunities for change, and instead of seeing it as negative, a lot of people see the Tower as negative. I want you to remember this is an opportunity for change. That's good because you need things to change in order for you to bring in this rich, successful life that you're looking at. You need more opportunities. So therefore, you need more opportunities for change. Okay, so I think we got everything we need to know here. Let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards. First question. What we need to do or keep in mind. We have, again, the sacred waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. Well, we already know that. We talked about it earlier, right? Take care of yourself. This is one of the biggest things walking out of this reading for you is just take care of yourself. You're already doing the work. Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. We saw you spend a lot of time learning. I think this is also an indication you know a lot. This is a confirmation if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know enough, or like you just need to know more before you can have what you're after. This is confirmation you know enough to teach. So don't doubt yourself, okay? Release the petals, transformation, death, rebirth, shedding, all change. We were just talking about change. Change those things that we've talked about. They're all, and being open to change too, is not a bad thing. I like the thought process of shedding. Shedding is not a bad thing at all. I don't think anybody worries about when trees shed or anything like that because we know the leaves will be back. Like, so it's kind of thinking that. The Anointed. Answer the call, leadership and empowerment, soul gifts. You are an empowered leader. That's very true, as the Emperor card came out in your first 5 cards of the night. Embrace the fact that you're a leader. Embrace the fact that you have a lot that you're bringing to the table, and you can help a lot of people. Okay, so further clarification, I'm pulling the Moonology Oracle deck. And we're just going to say, how can you manifest this rich, successful life faster? What do you need to keep in mind? The answers you need are coming. Again, kind of back to that introspective kind of thought process, right? Trusting yourself, it will come. Take time to breathe out, of course. Take care of yourself, right? Balance spirituality and practicality. You're very practical. You're working incredibly hard. That spirituality piece, whatever spirituality means for you, but ultimately it means just taking care of yourself, right? Being true to your desire. And it's time to take action. You're already taking action. I believe this is confirmation that you are already taking action. But if you're not, and that part of the reading's like, no, I haven't done anything yet, okay, then it's time. It's time. All right, pile 2. Thank you so much for joining the reading. I really appreciate you hanging in with me. Please like and subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me, and it also helps the algorithm. And then send a comment if this resonated with you. I think that this is a great reading. I mean, you're going to be rich, right? So can't argue with that. Well, with that, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you at the next reading. Bye. Hello, pile 3. Okay, thanks for joining the reading. So, will you be rich and successful and or famous? That's what we're asking for, pile 3. And if you selected the box, this is your reading. And we are pulling from the Modern Witch Tarot deck today. So, will pile 3 be rich, successful, and or famous? Pile 3 be rich, successful, and or famous. Sorry, it's taking a while for cards to come up. It's weird. Sorry, I had a little shuffling mishap here. Let's do that again. Will pile 3 be rich, successful, and or famous? First card up, Page of Wands in reverse. Two of Swords. Ooh, have some decisions to make on pile 3. Okay. Pile 3 be rich, successful, and or famous. Everything is fine. The World. King of Cups. Okay. So, start out with the Page of Wands in reverse. When we think about the Page of Wands, and we think about the fact that the Page of Wands is in reverse, this is coming up with a bit of exploration, freedom, creativity. So already I see you as a more kind of beat to your own drum type. You don't like to fit into a box, right? So that kind of fits into your card that you selected. We go right into the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is kind of like when it's like you're weighing your options. It's difficult to, you have two very difficult choices to make. So what I see here is that for you, will you be rich, successful, and or famous? I see you as becoming famous because there's a lot of different paths you can go on. And you have the stamina with everything is fine card. You notice how there's all these swords in her? You have that grit to just stay in till you get what you want. You are not somebody who's going to hold back. You're not someone who is afraid of hard work or getting your knees skinned a little bit, right? As you're going after what you want. Now we see the World card, which has come up here. I have it edited, of course, for YouTube. But the World card, you will be famous, and I do see the World card as confirmation of that. And then the King of Cups. Well, the King of Cups is an energy that is really someone who has a very good sense of balance. I see this as someone who knows what they want. If you look at him, doesn't he look famous? First of all, wearing, this looks like a turquoise suit, and then an awesome crown, a cup, just owning it, sitting in the throne, no apologies, even have matching shoes, honestly. So definitely styling here. Okay. You could be someone that's really like an influencer, especially when it comes to fashion. You could be someone who is into, I would say anything like creative, but you definitely beat your own drum. And the fact that creativity, this card kicked off, your reading. And that Knight of Wands, it really was about creativity. It's about passion. It's about, going after what you want, a sense of freedom. And that's really what I'm seeing here for you. So we're going to keep asking, will you be rich, successful, and or famous? We have the Page of Pentacles here. Well, your money's coming up very clearly. The Hermit card came up in all three readings. Very interesting. Will you be rich, successful, and or famous? I see this as a little different for you. Each one was different. The Chariot card. Okay. Will you be rich, successful, and or famous? Nine of Swords in reverse. And then the Ace of Swords came out as well. Upright. Okay. So, the Page of Pentacles. When we're looking at the Page of Pentacles, this is about being able to manifest financial opportunities. So this is a confirmation you will have you will be successful in the money area because you're able to pull your fame, whatever fame that you're building, it's going to come in and prove dividends, right? Because this talks about manifesting new financial opportunities, developing your financial future based on this talent that you have, based on your ability to withstand difficult times. So then we see here with the Hermit card, the Hermit card comes in, and like I said, I've seen Hermit card all night, pile 3. The way I see it for you is different. It's like because you are someone who's in the public eye, at least the way I see it here, that you will take this time away and it just improves everything. Like people are kind of clamoring for what you're going to do next. They're wanting to know what you're up to when you're not posting. They want to know what you're up to if you're not like, out and about and kind of seen. If you're a public speaker and you've done TED Talks or something, they can't wait to see what other materials that they're coming out with. If you're an actor and, they're waiting for your next thing that's coming out. They're researching. Are they working on a movie right now? Are they going to be, when is this show returning? Like whatever it is. You could be a singer, you could be a designer, you could be, like I said, fashion I see as a major front here. So you could definitely be a fashion designer or an influencer. But regardless, you will take hermit periods, and this is actually a testament to your fame because people aren't getting enough. So as you're building these finances and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to take a little time off. Oh, I think I'm going to go on vacation or anything. It's like people are clamoring, like, when are you coming back? Like, when's pile 3? Like, when are they going to be posting something next? Like, they're getting really excited about it. And then we have the Chariot card. So the Chariot card comes in, and this card is about the fact that you're so determined and you come back with a force when you want to. So you're very good and you have you have a strong sense of self, pile 3, because you could easily walk away at times, take breaks, maybe not post for a while, whatever. But then you come back with a vengeance and you just grab people's attention. So you're definitely somebody who has this sense of a strong self-worth, as well as you're very determined. So you kind of have this rhythm about you where everybody wants to know, what is pile 3 up to? You just have a tendency to keep people on their toes. So then we come in with the Nine of Swords energy, and that Nine of Swords energy is, I mean, it's one of those cards where it's like, when I look at it, a lot of people see it as negative, right? Because, and I'll hold it up so everybody can see it. So laying in the card, they have 9 swords here. She's obviously upset, but I need you to recall this was in reverse. So for you, pile 3, what are you manifesting? You keep people so much on their toes that you will have, like, how do I put this? You will have people who are very invested in your life, okay? And you'll have some haters along the way too. So this is crazy actually, because you're not just like loosely famous, like in your circle. Like this is like, I see this as fame. Like this is on top of the world card. So you may be influencing people in such a way, and I say influencing just by you being you, that they have like very emotional reactions to you. Like you can keep people up at night about your decisions or about what you're up to. Like they're invested in you, and that's, you know, they're passionate talking about you with their friends and what you're doing next. Like this is the level of fame you will have. So we're talking about something really major. Okay, and then Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is going into, you have like the ability to constantly break through with new things. And for you, you have these aha moments that lead you to more success, because it's like they build on each other. So wherever you start is definitely not the only place you'll be. You will know how to expand your career. So I'm going to push some of these up, and then we're going to keep going. Pile 3. I'm going to ask one more round, and we're going to, because I like to like do 3 rounds actually on will you be rich, successful, and or famous. We already know you're going to be famous. You're definitely going to be successful. So I think riches is already building, but we're just going to get confirmation. The Page of Pentacles is already showing you are building wealth. So we have the 2 of Wands in reverse. Will pile 3 be rich, successful? Oh, yes. I love this card. 6 of Wands. Will pile 3 be rich, successful, and or famous? 3 of Pentacles. Will pile 3 be rich, successful, and or famous? King of Wands. Yes. Page of Swords. Okay. So we start off with the 2 of Wands in reverse. We're talking about that, what you're, like where you're at is that you're constantly changing and redefining your space. This is what's going to guarantee your success and your fame. And when I see this on top of the Page of Pentacles, it's confirmation that because you're able to do those things, over time your wealth will grow. Opportunities to grow your wealth will be there, because you're going to be constantly like working with, you know, you're going to be having the ability to work with opportunities, new opportunities, and they'll line up with financial opportunities. You have the 6 of Wands. You know, that's a victory card, okay? Like if you look at her earrings, she has got V on them. She's on a horse. She has people around her, but she's the one with the reef on her wand versus the others. So the 6 of Wands talks about victory, public recognition, a whole lot of acclaim, success. You know, you're literally being seen for your accomplishments. That's what you're getting here. So you're definitely going to be successful. You're definitely going to be famous, and you're going to have some riches along the way. We have the 3 of Pentacles playing up even further, that with collaboration. So I do see you working with people, and by working with community, you'll be able to manifest financial abundance. So some of the ways you're going to build your finances is by working with other people. Let me look at this card. I don't remember what it looked like, but I know this is big. So let's do it this way. And that's going to kind of cover the next card, so I'm going to switch that out. Okay. So then the King of Wands comes up next. It doesn't surprise me you got the King of Wands because you're such a creative, and we started with the Page of Wands in reverse. So King of Wands is really about being a force in your own right, leaning into your charisma, leaning into your creativity, being definitely inspired. This is your pile for sure. Like if you're creative or if you have goals that are pretty huge and you really want to be someone who's recognized in a larger space, this is the reading for sure. You have it, pile 3. You will not be in the box. You're going to be out and about. No way around it. People see you from a mile away. We have the Page of Swords following this up, and the Page of Swords is really leaning into the fact that you continue to be curious about this, and you really are going after new opportunities wherever you see fit. You're willing to take risks. And because of that, I'm looking at the Everything is Fine card, the top of that card. And I want to point that out. Because you have this energy we talked about with the Page of Swords, you're willing to take risks. You're willing to go for it. You're not afraid because you've lived the life of everything is fine when nothing was going right, and you're fine. You are fine. Look, you're playing with your phone even though you got swords all throughout your body. Like you're the type of person where you can just roll with it because this is your dream. You're not holding back. That's incredibly impressive. Pile 3. Okay, so now we're going to start pulling how. How are you going to manifest this, pile 3? Let's get some information. How are you going to manifest being rich, successful, and or famous? 5 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. How are you going to manifest this, pile 3? Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Justice, Queen of Cups in reverse. How are you going to do it? We start out with the 5 of Pentacles. The 5 of Pentacles talks about really having some difficulties along the path. And if you're going through some difficulties right now, if you're feeling like it's really like ostracized in a way, or just having it really difficult for you to believe that you can get beyond this, this is an important message for you that how you're going to do it is getting beyond that mindset. So you have to release any type of thought process or any energy blocks that encourage you to be worried or scared or focus on money difficulties or health difficulties. Let all of that go and try to reframe it into something positive. Reframe it into, hey, I have all of this to look forward to. We had a good amount of time of this reading talking about all the blessings coming your way. Rich, success, and a lot of fame. So if you're going to have a ton of fame, you're going to be completely successful, and you're going to have money to boot, then lean into that every time you start feeling kind of blocked and kind of negative, and just remind yourself security is coming. You will heal. You'll be okay. Like, this is just difficult. Yes, you do have all the swords in you right now, but everything is fine. Just like that card we saw up here. I'm going to shrink it down because for whatever reason, this message keeps coming up. The 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups talks about really leaning into supportive relationships in your life at this time. If you're going through difficult times, it's very important, but also even if you're not, it's important to have a support system around you. So lean into your relationships as you're building this, because also as your life changes and as it looks like it will quickly change, you got the Chariot card. As it's coming together, as it's changing, then make sure that you keep these relationships in the forefront of your mind so that you have people to talk to and people to support you. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is talking about really, yes, you're going to have the financial abundance, and to remember that right now because it is in reverse, right? So for you, that financial independence that you want is coming. Okay? It's coming. It's on its way. So right now it's about really getting clear about what you really want and what you desire and working towards that and getting clear about how you envision that life. Justice card comes up next. I think this card is incredibly important to this reading because it talks about fairness. It talks about cause and effect. Because you're putting all of this in motion, killing those negative thoughts, building more positive energy around what you want, not focusing on the difficulty that's going on right now, focusing on the fact that everything is fine, coming in, asking, leaning into your supportive relationships, knowing that you're a Queen of Pentacles. This is going to turn upright. You just have to kind of put things in motion, focus on things in a positive way. So the Justice card comes in and says, look, there's fairness here. There's cause and effect. If you're doing these steps, and the cause and effect is the Queen of Pentacles turns upright, you start going on your path to becoming famous, successful, and rich. Now we have the Queen of Cups. This also came out in reverse. I'll hold it up upright. Okay, so the Queen of Cups in reverse. That is really leaning into the fact of if we at times feel a bit like overly emotional about the path, right? I don't know if I'm going to get this, and being super just like, we'll say just kind of depressed over like how far you have to go. That's what this card is about. I'm going to pull a clarifying card on the how, because if you're struggling with this, I want it to be clear on how to get out of it. Hierophant. There we go. Belief system. We're talking about belief. We're talking about faith. Build your faith around your vision. Get really clear about what you want and build belief systems around it. Really believe it. Really envision it. Walk it. Talk to people who have done it. Build up this mindset. And it may feel like you're building it from the ground up. That's okay. It has to start somewhere. Okay, we're going to pull a few more cards on how to manifest faster. So what action should you take today to manifest faster? So the how that we went through, these are all the qualities you will master. But now we're just asking, well, we already have some actions. But let's go further. Three of Cups, leaning into that support system, very clear again, right? And Two of Cups is right there. So this is telling you, with the Three of Cups, lean in to collaborative, supportive relationships as you create what you want. Ten of Wands, drop the burdens that you can right now. Only take on the stuff that's important to your outcome, important to what you want to experience. Don't take on anything that you don't want to take on. The Ten of Swords in reverse, literally the mirror to this one. I wondered if it would come out. Everything is fine. So the Ten of Swords, what does that mean for you? Why did that come up? This is talking about not letting go of negative emotions. You want to let go of them. Like you want to drop these wands. Let it go. So that's really all you have to do to manifest this faster. Let go of the negative emotions. I know it's difficult when I say that's all you have to do. It's one of the hardest things to do. And let go of your burdens. Don't overextend yourself. Take care of yourself and lean on people. This is the time to be almost selfish about your dreams because this is what you really want. There's no reason to hold back. Ace of Wands, okay? Ace of Wands came out next. So the Ace of Wands card is talking about here to really lean into being inspired, having some new ideas, right? Being connected to how you envision your life, and don't feel like you should be, we'll say, don't feel like you need to avoid anything. Go after what you want. Dream about it. That's actually going to put these to rest. The more you dream and get clear on your inspiration and getting excited about how your life can unfold if you go after what you want. The Death card in reverse came out next. This was consistent in all of the readings, and I think that's great because it talks about personal transformation. So this Death card in reverse, you are going to transform. So think about right now, because this came out as what action should you take? Today, you should be taking the action of any areas in your life that you feel like need to be transformed to call in this life. Start doing it. Start working toward the person you want to be and the person you envision. The last card that came out was the High Priestess. So the High Priestess card here is talking about the fact that you really and truly want to just lean into your unconscious mind, lean into your psychic awareness, lean into intuition, whatever you want to call it, but get really clear about what you want and what you want to manifest in. When you do that, you will manifest this faster because this is the action, right? It's the action to bring the how and to bring all of this into motion. Okay, so with that, I'm going to pull some oracle cards. And the question I'm asking is, what do you need to keep in mind? And we'll get some further clarity. Like, what do you need to keep in mind? What does pile 3 need to keep in mind? Protection, boundaries, and clear communication. It's important to clearly communicate what you need at this time. In your reading, there was a lot that came out around leaning on others and getting the support that you need, and especially if you feel like you're going through this 10 of Swords energy, that's how you transmute it, is by clear communication and leaning on others. Come to me, attracting like the rose, receive abundance desires. Remember, you can attract anything you want. You're attracting fame, success, and money with the Queen of Pentacles. So, for you, pile 3, it's important for you to attract like the rose. Answer the call. This, I believe, came up in pile 2. The Anointed. Answer the call. Leadership, empowerment, and soul gifts. I think this is important to note for pile 3. You're going to be a leader. We know this because of the fame and the success, and it's big success. It's global success, and it's not in a small way, at least not the way the cards played out. So, using your soul gifts, feeling empowered by them, answer the call that's inside you. Know that you're deserving. This is a big reading, pile 3, and I will recommend that you listen to pile 2. Pile 2 is for you as well. So, you literally jackpot all the way around for what you pulled here today. Okay, Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning, and teaching. This also came out, I believe, in pile 2. If I'm wrong, doesn't matter. For whatever reason, I feel like you need to listen to pile 2. So, learning and teaching, that's where you're at right now. If you need to learn more about what you're going after, do it, but you're meant to teach it as well. This is a big role you're about to step into, pile 3. A lot to do. So you are currently hidden in plain sight, but we know that's not going to be for very long because you're destined for fame. Okay. Acknowledgement to that 10 of Swords energy. I'm so glad this came out. The end of a tough cycle approaches. It is coming out clear. That cycle is about done. And nothing is set in stone. If you feel like anything tonight didn't resonate with you, you're not happy with some of the things that came out, nothing is set in stone. Remember. So, feel okay with that. Like, trust that. Prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus. Prosperity certainly lies ahead. Okay? Trust that. Trust that it's coming. And trust that everything we talked about could happen. And anything that you didn't really want to happen, you can manifest whatever you want. Get very clear about what you want, because this is a very big reading, pile 3. So I want you to be aligned with that. It's time to release negative energy, Scorpio, full moon Scorpio. Release any negativity around if you have doubt, if you're like, I don't know if I can get this, or if you're just struggling right now, it's just really hard to be positive. Release it. It's going to pay off. It really will. Just see it through. Get your support system put together a plan, and conquer. You'll get what you want. Okay, pile 3. Thanks for joining my reading. Please like, subscribe, share if you can. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Send me a comment. I would love to understand if this resonates with you. If it does, what are you going after? I'm so curious. Because you have a big future ahead of you, pile 3. Okay, with that, have a great night, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care.